Sudirman Cup has almost become China's personal property. They've won an astonishing 13 of the last 15 editions, including the last 3. But sport is nothing if not unpredictable, so can Malaysia derail the hosts here in Xiamen? That quarter-final is coming up live. Well, a warm welcome to our continuing coverage of the 2025 BWF Sudirman Cup. That's what it's about. And in fact, China have never, ever failed to reach at least the semis. It would be a massive surprise if that proud record comes to grief here this morning. Remember, 16 nations began the quest, and we now know the final 8. China advancing undefeated from Group A. Thailand qualifying also with them. In Group B, Korea were the star turn, 3 wins out of 3. Chinese Taipei qualifying in 2nd place. In Group C, it was Japan who led the way, just edging out Malaysia in a terrific match yesterday morning. Malaysia, though, qualified for the quarters as well. And last night, Indonesia defeating Denmark, but both those countries into the quarterfinals. So coming up momentarily, China versus Malaysia in the first quarter-final, and then later on it'll be Thailand, Indonesia. That's 5 o'clock local time with Jill Clark and Steve Pedersen. Well, the draw was made yesterday evening, drawn right the way through to the final, so it could potentially be a China-Japan semi, and on the other side of the draw, you might say Korea-Indonesia would be the favourite semi-final, but as I say, sport is unpredictable, you just don't know. What a star-studded China squad, deep in numbers, deep in talent. Superstars everywhere you look, really. Xi Yuqi, the world #1 on the men's side. Women's doubles, they've also got the top pair on the planet. Just no weak link, really, anywhere. As for Malaysia, well, they so nearly shocked Japan yesterday. They actually had match points to qualify first in the group and avoid the Chinese. They couldn't do it. The doubles, you would think, would be their strength here. In the women there, Tan and Mualitharan, capable of beating anyone on their day. Here's our lineup then, starting with what could prove a pivotal mixed doubles. World #2 pair, Fenghuang against the rejuvenated Chen and To, who had an inspirational victory yesterday. Then the 2 singles clashes. Men first, with world #1 Xi Yuqi facing Leong Junhao for the first time. The Malaysian shocked Kodai Naroka yesterday. Chen Yufei will be a massive favourite in the women's match. The 2020 Olympic champion meets Karupativan Lechana, the 3rd to the higher-ranked Go Jinwei. Then, if required, a fascinating men's doubles. Olympic silver medalist from Paris, Liang and Wang, against world #2 pair Go and Isu Din, picked ahead of So and Chia. And if it goes 2-all, we'll have a women's doubles decider. World #1 pair Lu and Tan against Perni Tan and Tina Mualitharan, who've beaten the Chinese pair on 5 previous occasions. My name's Trevor Harris, alongside me as ever is Chris Langridge, Olympic medalist. This is where it gets serious, Chris. Knockout all the way from here. And if Malaysia are to have any chance of bringing up a huge shock, surely they've got to win this mixed doubles, because the 2 singles on paper favours the Chinese.
Definitely, and this is such a big game for Malaysia in regards to it's a must-win game, this mixed doubles, because you're totally right. There's 2 singles. We have to be honest and say China are huge favourites. We have to go back to the Olympics, which was the last massive meeting between these 2 pairs, and the Malaysians did actually win, but this is a totally different one today.
It is red.
Saw that head-to-head just go up there. 5-2 it is in the Chinese pair's favour. They've won the last 3, most recently at the Malaysia Open in January, but as Chris was saying, Chen and To did get the better of them in the group stage at the Olympics in Paris last summer. lot of pressure, a lot of tension down there, especially on the Malaysians, because, as we were saying, they probably don't have the singles players to get them out of trouble. That's what China have as backup, effectively, and of course the men's and the women's doubles. Both nations have strong pairs. China qualified very, very easily from their group, as they were expected to do. Wang Dongping, 30 years of age now. Olympic gold, of course, with Wang Yiliu in the Olympics in Tokyo back in 2020. Have been up at #1 in the world, now they're at 2. And Feng Yingzhe, just 24. Won the Swiss Open this year. Also got to the final of the All England and the Malaysian Open. Both of those were Super 1000 events. Just the one match so far, and that was a straightforward win against Hong Kong in the second group game. Obviously a tougher test for them today against Chen and To. There is Ten Chengji. They played exceptionally yesterday against Midorikawa and Igarashi. Toby Wei, who's 3 years Chen's junior, she's 24 now. 3 World Tour titles they've got, including the Korea Open last year, that's a Super 500. And they also got to the final of the World Tour Finals back in December. So we know on their day, they can certainly worry the Chinese. They have beaten them twice. But can they do it when it really matters here this morning? Just gone 9:30 AM local time. They've played twice this week, as you saw. In charge of this one is the familiar face of Bert van Horenbeek. He's from Belgium. And Mohamed Khateb of Canada is in the service judges' chair. And the stadium announcers, you could probably hear, just setting the scene here for this semi-final. They need a good start, Krista. They They need to hit the ground running here.
Yeah, guys, there's so many different complexities in this match, just because they're highlighted in their previous matches. But the Malaysians have obviously had a few communication problems, and with a match of this magnitude, could these come to light? Well, I've got to be honest, yesterday they looked like how they used to look united,
Ladies and gentlemen,
really, really good, but today's another challenge.
Right, China, represented by Feng Yingzhe and Wang Dongping. On my left, Malaysia, represented by Chen Tangji and Cho Yi-wei. China to serve, Wang Dongping to Chen Tangji, Lovell, play.
So Wang Dongping will start this quarter-final. China coming in as massive favourites, but they have to produce right now. Not the start she wanted. No one's immune from pressure. Very decent crowd in this morning, considering how early it is. Well, that landed just inside the back line, or at least the line judge said it did. However, Chinese pair have asked Hawkeye to check. Each pair have 2 challenges per game, and if they're correct, they will keep the challenge. Gotta say, it looked good first time around, but it looks pretty good on Hall play as well.
Challenge remaining. Serves over.
So an early challenge burnt by the Chinese pair.
Late.
Lovely return of serve, just pushed at the tape.
Serves
You see
over.
it so often from
2,
all the different doubles disciplines. Good return of serve, just pushed at the tape, because when it bobbles off, it's so hard to tell where it's going to go.
He is calmness personified, Fenghuang, I always think. Never looks rushed. New racket for Chen. Consistency-wise, Fenghuang just hardly ever have a poor match. Yes, they get beaten sometimes, as we watch the Chen racket change, but I don't think that Chen and To are going to win by mistakes from their opponents, Chris. They're going to have to win it themselves, effectively.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the only interesting thing about the Chinese pair is, obviously, China have swapped their partnerships a little bit in some different tournaments, and I think the big one was who were they going to put in today, and it, you know, it obviously makes sense. The player we have on camera here serving, Huang Dongping, the most experienced player on court by an absolute mile, and in a game like this, you need that experience.
Serves over. 3-4.
Missed it.
Oh, that's a big miss, that.
It's one of those where he almost had too much time. It was so short, it took an age to come down.
Too low there, really, to be trying that Chen. He's taking it slightly earlier so he can push it flatter. It can work, but it's going too upwards, especially to Huang Dongping at the net. It's a good quick serve that. He's kind of surprised Chen a little bit. Much quicker serve than normal.
6-4.
Changing the timing of a serve is so integral. Your opponent kind of gets used to that timing.
Great rally.
The Chinese so far, they have been good. Just doing all the right things, making the right choices, moving the shuttle round well. Good turn there into the big space, and then can apply the pressure.
Just danger signals starting to turn red for Chen and To. Can't afford to let Chinese pair get off to a flyer here. That's very cleverly done from To. Two very savvy women in this match.
Obviously the expression after the point. To, she knows she makes that 95 times out of 100. Reads it, doesn't even really have to kill it. The Chinese are under so much stress. See there, Wang Nongping, she has to duck because of the problem she's in. And it's just nerves out there from everyone. Saw one from Feng early on in the match. He had a half-court lift and he put it out. That's the interesting one. She just played the perfect return of serve, gets a net cord. The complexity of that is a lot of skill needed. It's a much more complicated shot than obviously the one before that she missed.
Well, they engineered that point very, very effectively, and in the end it was an easy kill for Feng.
9-6.
I think Terry Wayne knew she'd got that wrong the minute she struck it.
Yeah, I know what To was trying, but she caught it slightly wrong, and especially the Feng going upwards to him.
10-6.
Oh, yes. Well, a real statement of intent from the Chinese pair. 11-6 they lead at the mid-game interval. Just as tough as we expected it to be for Chen and To.
You can see there on that replay, I'm not too sure what... She slipped over. To at the net there.
It's okay. So, play.
This is where, for me, it's so important that the Malaysians stay together as a team right now. That's absolutely brilliant. To at the net.
7-12.
Well, they need some inspiration here from somewhere. defence, but in the end, it's too good from the Malaysians.
Yeah, Wang Dongping's defence then was incredible. She's even stepping in on it. It's a brilliant turn though there. Toe. Last sort of 4 or 5 rallies, she's really come alive. Clever poke there. Reads it so well. Turn there from Wang Dongping. Lovely little hole and punch in the corner.
Had their moments, the Malaysian pair, just not quite enough of them up to this point.
It's kind of been point for point, really, since the break, since the interval. It's just that lead that the Chinese had. They had such a strong start to the match. But I would say since the interval, the Malaysians have actually been slightly the better pair.
He has to see the shuttle. He has to see the shuttle, so he has to move.
And there, he's just saying he can't actually see the shuttle. He has to have a clear line of sight. But when the shuttle is served, player returning can clearly see it. That attack is so good. He has such an advantage being such a tall player, being able to hit that angle.
6'5", and he's kind of a menacing figure, especially when he gets closer and closer to the net.
This is the thing, if you lift short to him, he's not obviously just got the power, he's got that exceptional angle. And yes, when you're tall, you do have a slight disadvantage of being able to get down, and sometimes the agility, the twisting, the turning. But if you can get the attack, especially in a good position, it's such an advantage.
Serves over. 11-15.
That's very good leave.
Yeah, it's good defence as well. Because every time the Malaysians were having to lift, didn't know if we had a challenge then, every time the Malaysians were having to lift then, they were putting the Chinese in a little bit of distress, a little bit of trouble, so they weren't in a good position, and it allowed them to defend to a very high level.
Every time that Chen and Toe kind of threaten a little comeback, it gets snuffed out very quickly.
well, yeah. Really strong backhand cross-court drive. And for me on the backhand, that's where Feng's got to be a little bit careful, because almost probably the last 4 or 5 times he's played that simple backhand push, Malaysians are reading it and then putting the Chinese in trouble. Say something now that I wouldn't say very often, because it doesn't happen very often, but I would say the Malaysians, and especially obviously To at the net, she's outplaying Huang Dongping at the net at the moment. She is the better net player on court. Yeah, he's frustrated there, because I don't think he had to play that shot. He could have just played a straight push. Huang Dongping was actually covering the cross.
Yeah, and she was kind of almost semi-ducking as well. Potential opportunity missed there by Malaysia. Every point now critical as far as they're concerned.
Late. Serves her up 15-17.
They're obviously definitely clawing it back, the Malaysians, and this is a big point, because can they find enough to just keep closing that gap?
Yeah, sowing seeds of doubt in Chinese minds, and if they get the deficit down to a single point, it's going to get very, very tense out there. And they have.
Brilliant from both of them. To at the net. Since the mid-game interval, she has been so good. She's really dominated that net. There's so much karma from Chen on that backhand drive, because it was about the placement. Didn't just put loads of power, and he placed it into a really awkward point on Feng's body. Just 1 point now.
15-10 at one stage it was. Maybe got a bit overexcited there, hit that way beyond the back line.
Yeah, and I think it's that chance. You kind of get overexcited. He gave, he put everything into it, whereas he doesn't have to win it on that point. They kind of started to get control in the rally. You just want to increase the control you have until you get that chance. Having that composure.
Yeah, got a flick off Wong's racket.
17-18.
time. It's the right shot.
17.
There's a big gap, and all she wants to do is get the lift for her partner.
It goes long, and here are 3 game points for the Chinese.
20, game point 17.
Who, to be honest, have almost, since the interval, crawled to this point rather than sprinted towards it, but 3 chances for the lead here. Well, it was a spirited fight back while it lasted by Chen and To. But the Chinese managed to hang on, 21-17. And they land the first big psychological blow. They've taken the first game here. Chen and To under huge pressure now, playing catch-up.
Second game. Lawful. Late.
So Chen and To hoping to make a more positive start than they did in the first game. Difficult when you're always chasing. But certainly there were encouraging signs for them. Some of the way the rallies played out in the second half of that opening game.
Yeah, after the interval in the first, there was just 3 rallies from the Malaysians where they made easier mistakes, except for those 3 rallies. To be honest, I think they were actually the better pair. But it was just that deficit at the beginning. So hard to kind of keep clawing that back. Slightly loose serve there, but that was so aggressive from the big man. Boom.
One of the few times of late where Wong Dongping has got the better of To Wei at the net. Confidence builder, that.
Again, at the start of that rally, we saw that quick serve from Fenghuang, and I like it. I like the change of the speed of his serve. Just that bit of variation, so integral.
Very, very clever.
The last big match that these two played, which was the Olympic group match, but it was one that turned out to be really important. The Chinese did actually win that first game 21-17 also, but then they ended up losing 15 and 16. But the Malaysians recreate that today. Great return of serve and then fantastic placement on that attack. You can see how much that's twisting and spinning, and then the lift's so short, but it's so hard to get a good lift when there's that much spin on a shot.
Threw her head back in utter frustration. So away. Take it. Wasn't pretty, but they'll take it.
7-5.
Good serve, but yeah, just pushes it at the tape. The net kind of just eats it up.
Yeah, just landed long. For a minute, their hearts were in their mouths, weren't they, Chen and To?
Yeah, it's the right shot from Fenghuang. She can feel and also see that Chen's chasing forward then.
What a bonus that is. Did really well, Fong, to keep the points alive, but still wouldn't have expected the error.
I've no idea how Feng managed to get that. He did almost a Matrix-style move. And that's where his height advantage can be a difficult one, because look, he's trying to get that. I don't know how he got that. But this is the big thing. I mean, we're going to see it in slow-mo here. That's incredible. But he's out the game. You know, it wouldn't even have to be a good kill anywhere near him, and the chance of him getting it back. So sometimes you can almost get slightly distracted by what your opponent's doing.
Just feels, I know it's early still in this second game, it just feels like that might be a bit of a pivotal moment. Point out of nothing, really, that they look destined to lose, and all of a sudden, what probably should have been a 1-point lead is now 3.
I agree, points like that you don't realise at the time, but they are important, because it's really a situation where you just want to keep the stress on your opponent. Just snatching.
Coaching the black Zhang Jun. He's the man in charge of Chinese badminton. He's done a pretty good job.
No pressure there then with that job.
A lot of pressure, but a lot of success. Most dominant badminton nation in the world.
Well, we've seen a few uncharacteristic errors in this match so far. Big occasion, expectant crowd, and that's the thing, whether you're the Chinese coach or an international player for China, winning is kind of all that matters. It's expected, and if you don't, there are repercussions.
And it is expected, which is such a tough thing, because anything other than winning this tournament is, you know, it's not quite good enough because of how good they are, and that's just that extra bit of pressure. And then playing this tournament on home soil, you see it as either extra pressure, because you've got the crowd demanding you in a way to win, or you see it as that extra motivation with the crowd cheering you on. Pressure is all how you perceive it.
Well, again, a point out of nothing, because halfway through that rally, yet I had Malaysians as big favourites, but it's a 3-point lead for Fong and Wang at the mid-game break.
Yeah, and Wang Dongping, she's taken this net back. She's the player getting to the net first, and she's now so dominant.
Started when Fong misjudged, was going to leave it very late. It was about a foot off the floor when he played it. And they were on the back foot from that moment on in that rally.
serve.
10, 11.
This is the other thing you see with film. It looked like, could be wrong because the angle we're at is very hard to see, but it looks like the serve possibly is dipping short. But when Feng is so committed to the return of serve, he can't pull out. Just starting to get a bit of momentum or pull back in. It just seems to be a simpler mistake goes wrong.
It's become a running theme, that. Saw it the first game too. But still just a couple of points in it. And a game that the Malaysians have to win. Another bonus, really.
13-10.
Yeah, it's got enough spin on to make it difficult, but Chen there, he's not committed forward, he's just committed down, and that's where the shot was going to go.
Crowd completely re-energized now. A few nervous moments, but as it stands, Fenghuang look to be wrestling control now.
Malaysians maybe are just a little bit fortunate to end up winning that point. Chinese got themselves in a bit of a muddle.
Oh, that's well wide.
Yeah, it's a good call from Feng, because I think Fenghuang maybe was going to go for it. Again, it's another simpler mistake from the Malaysians. It is looking a massive, massive challenge now for the Malaysians to come back. Quicker serve again, I do like that. Feng, brilliant. And I don't think there's enough players out there changing the timing, the tempo of their serve. Don't quite get to see it on the replay. Feng steps in really well there, takes that early, great cross-court drive. Big thumbs up from Zhang Jun. Cleanest of strikes, you can see afterwards, string's gone, and where it's gone is on the outer peripheral of the racket.
Well, that was terrific play from Chen Tangji.
Yeah, Chen shows his incredible athleticism in that rally. So well to stay in it. It's a clever shot when he dived that cross court.
Still think there might be a twist here. 3-point lead, but we saw in the first game that Chen and To did come back at Fenghuang.
Yes, play.
Have a realistic option of her to lift, but she didn't want to lift to Feng. You can see how low she is there, and she's off balance to try and cross-court net. That is, she's got so much skill, but even for her, that's too complicated.
Superb shot.
Serves their 14-17.
Now rally there, I don't think there's anything wrong with Feng's shot choice, it's just the execution. He couldn't quite get it high enough or deep enough. So it's comfortable for To to be able to just attack it.
It's become a little bit stop-start, hasn't it, now, this match? A lot of court mopping and players having a drink. It's just lost its flow for the moment.
I'd say, yeah, I agree on it. That probably, for me, suits the Chinese a little bit more, just to regroup and just go point for point, where it's hard for the Malaysians to get on a run, which is what they need. But in this situation, when it is very kind of bitty, they need the momentum, they need the flow, they need continuous points. China are very good at controlling, you know, the tempo and speed of a match, and everything goes at the pace they want.
Yeah, you can see he's still using his feet to allegedly get some of the moisture out of the court surface. Fenghuang. Now we're ready.
Wang Dongping, she's really stamped her authority on the second game because she was outplayed at the net in the first. Which you don't see very often.
Solid lead and a nice piece of hurdling. Stop him crashing into the advertising hoarding.
Yeah, he's lucky he's so tall because that didn't look that difficult. I think for me, I would have gone straight through.
That was an Ed Moses special, I think.
But yeah, great judgment because he could have had it and he obviously clearly left it.
2 points away then.
Again, it's that quick serve. I'm a big fan of this change of speed he has on his serve. It's proved really important today.
Well, big call here for Hawkeye. Malaysia challenging. I've got to say, first instinct was it looked fine, but let's see whether the technology agrees with the line judge.
He's out.
Yeah.
Great challenge.
Yeah, 2014, it would have been curtains, surely. 1915, there's a glimmer. Win the next couple of points, put some pressure on.
19.
Put it long.
She just missed it, yeah. Thought she had it, she read it.
17.
And all that after Fenghuang reacted really well to a difficult net cord. Huge point, this. What a moment to do that. It's an absolute gift for the Chinese.
Match point 17.
3 match points then to give the Chinese the lead in this quarter-final. It's a great victory for Feng, and well, they were pressurised at times, but Xiamen just couldn't put them under the pump often enough. And the win that they desperately wanted, they've achieved in straight games as well. Although I think Xiamen will look back, Chris, and think maybe we could have got something out of this match.
Yeah, definitely. I think, no, full praise to these two, especially Feng, because, you know, his form's been a little bit up and down. They've had a few partnership changes, but today he stamped his authority. He was really good today. It was a lot of pressure because he has to perform. He wants to be the man on the team sheet for the mixed doubles. You know, these are technically world #2, so the second Chinese pair at the moment, but performance he put in today, I'm confident China, obviously, they did make the right choice, but he played really well. And now the pressure on the Malaysia singles, this is humongous.
Yeah, the young Junhao's going to be feeling it, I would imagine, as he waits to come out shortly. His first club to China. (21-17), 21-17, 49 minutes, the official match time in the opening match of his quarter-final. Coming up next, the men's singles world #1, Xu Qi, facing the #26, Liang Junhao, hoping to spring a massive shock and pull Malaysia level. We're back in a moment. They're very, very skillful operators, those stringers. sport couldn't exist without them. Plenty of merchandise on the premises here, and most of the spectators who are buying it would have been delighted by the result of that first match, the mixed doubles. So now we move on to the men's singles. It's not going to get any easier here for Malaysia, is it? Shi Yuqi, the world number 1, and the man trying to stop him, giving China a 2-0 lead, Leong Junhao. Today's the last day of 2-court action. We'll be down to 1 tomorrow for the semi-finals. Same start time, incidentally, 9:30. Looks relaxed enough, Shi Yuqi, doesn't he? How Leong Junhao's feeling, Chris. I mean, to be fair, he played very well yesterday when he beat Naroka comfortably in the end.
Yeah, no, definitely, and he did so well to close that match out, because it was a match that he had the lead, and I felt like he should win because of the way he was playing, but it doesn't always mean that you will with the experience of somebody like Naroka. But today, this is a much bigger challenge against the best player in the world.
It's black and red. It's going to call. Red is the call. You want the toss? What do you choose? That side. Will you serve or receive? Serve.
So Shi Yuqi obviously will start. Very warm favourite. He is the world number 1. First achieved that status back in June of last year. He's already got actually 3 Sudirman Cup gold medals in his collection, as well as 13 World Tour titles. I think probably most famously when he beat Lin Dan at the All England back in 2018. Won the All England again a couple of months ago. And also took down the Malaysian Open this year, so we know he's in form. Lee Chuk-yu took him to 3 games, however, in the second group game, now from Hong Kong, China. So maybe some hope for Leong Junhao of Malaysia. 25 years of age. Currently ranked 26. That 24 ranking was only a couple of months ago. As we mentioned, he was excellent yesterday against Naroka, the world number 8. He's won a couple of Super 100 events as Leong. There's that Naroka victory. Also got past Arnaud Merkel of France in the group match. Got a Thomas Cup bronze from last year, Leong. One thing he was doing yesterday against Naroka, Chris, was painting the lines. The number of winners he hit with absolute precision, accuracy was phenomenal.
Yeah, especially in the first game, it almost was. He was, hand placing the shuttle on the line. He was that accurate. I just do think today is a much bigger challenge. But it'd be a good test for him to see, can he compete with the very best in the world under this, I would say, high pressure, high stress situation.
Never met before, these two.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, China represented by Shi Yuqi. And on my left, Malaysia represented by Leon Chung Hao. China to serve, level, play.
How's that for starters?
One love.
Yeah, I mean, the way Xiuqi's started this game is warp speed, aggressive, attacking, confident. He's out there to prove a point, I think. And yeah, I mean, if Xiuqi continues this, it's going to be a tough battle for Leon. Oh my goodness. I know he's world number one, you know, everyone does.
I didn't think that was the worst shot from Leon either.
Yeah, but it wasn't. And how calm and composed he was. The start he's had to this match is exceptional.
Service over. 1-3.
Power and placement right at the body of Leon. Do nothing with it.
Service over.
Yeah, and Xiuqi's just controlling the match. Everything's how he wants it to be right now. He's controlling the rallies, dictating what's going on. At the moment, Leon's just kind of following. Oh my goodness. It's just getting better and better. And this is the thing, in Leon's defense, he's not doing anything wrong. I mean, when he's slowed down a shot like that, it's hard to appreciate how deceptive that actually is.
I think his judgment calls right as well.
We're 2 minutes in, and you know, Leon is, I think that's the only unforced error he's made. It's just the other rallies have been absolutely exceptional from Xiuqi.
Great pickup. Oh, that should make him feel much better.
Yeah, Leon's played a brilliant rally there. He did so well to stay in it. This shot here, what a pickup. Leon was surprised Xiuqi a little bit with how quick he was to get it and then recover for the next one. He does so well. The quality as well in his block from that, up so quickly.
Thank you.
We were talking about it earlier, weren't we, with the height of Fenghuang. I mean, Leon's only 5'8", and in that previous point, that's when the smaller men do have an advantage, getting back on their feet quickly. Did it like lightning.
I'm only a little bit taller, so I should have had that as well, but unfortunately I didn't. But luckily I had a doubles partner to cover me.
You weren't flexible enough.
Well, I wasn't great when I dived. It took me a couple of minutes to get back up.
Takes me a couple of weeks. I feel a bit sorry for Leon. He must feel like a duck on a fairground shooting range.
I mean, it's tough. You know, somebody watched badminton for the first time and they didn't really understand the sport, and they watched how Xiuqi's playing at the moment. They said badminton looks easy. You know, he's making it look that easy out there because everything he's doing is as good as it gets. And this is it's a complicated task now for Leon because again, he's not doing a lot wrong. It's just this man here is putting on a bit of a masterclass.
plays like this is why he is world number one. He's approximately 10,000 points ahead of anyone else in the world. This year winning the 2 Super 1000s, Malaysian Open and the All England. He lost in the quarterfinal of the Asian Championships. In the Asian Championships because he lost to Lo Ken Yu. Lo Ken Yu, he can still put in those incredible performances as he burst onto the scene winning their World Championships.
Yeah, always dangerous in the draw. But as you say, he's won the All England, he's won the Malaysia Open, so it's been a great start for Xiamen. Kind of sometimes, because An Se-young hasn't lost a single match on the women's side, won everything, almost looks kind of average in comparison, but actually it's a brilliant start to the season.
Lovely hold, he makes it look so easy. And another thing about Xiamen is quite an interesting story, was just obviously he didn't have the Olympics that he dreamed of, and afterwards his performances weren't so good, and he kind of openly admitted he kind of lost a bit of that hunger, that desire, that motivation to compete, and he questioned whether it was what he wanted to do with his life. Took a short period out to kind of, I think, clear his head and make some decisions for himself, and then it's been amazing to see him back since, because it was the right thing to do. And sort of a similar thing with Chen Yufei, you know, she took, it was approximately 6 months out to kind of go on a little journey of herself, to find herself. And you know, I think it's amazing when players do this, because they're understanding what they need to do, and they're coming back. And look how Xiamen's come back. He's come back taking the world #1 status, and performances like this so far is showing how good he is.
And it doesn't flatter him, the lead he has at the mid-game interval. 11-4, the world #1 in front.
Because he goes so fast if you play directly on front of him.
11-4. Play.
Difficult thing now for Leung. He's kind of in a position of he's not totally sure what to do, because this man has been so good. Everything he's tried so far hasn't really worked, but it's not him, it's just Xiamen has been exceptional.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Defensively brilliant, and then he's on the front foot almost immediately after that with the winner.
13-4.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better, to be honest, than how Xiamen started this match. No sign of nerves, no sign of doubt, no sign of pressure. He's come out here like a true champion, like a true world #1.
And has started like a train. And another one.
It's just, you know, it's... Yeah, to be honest, I'm running out of words because of how good he's... You know, it's just rally after rally. It's just everything is pretty much perfection.
Yeah. Not enough superlatives in the English language, and how deflating must this be for Leon to be on the wrong end of this.
Proving there that he is actually human. And I think, you know, for Leon, he starts, you can't help it, but you start to question everything, because you start to think, well, how do I actually win a point? What do I have to do? How do I get him in trouble? Then you almost overthink things, you question everything, you doubt yourself. Also now we've got a pretty good crowd in here that I'm sure are going to make it very, very clear who they want to win. I'm not sure we're going to get to see it on the replay, but in that rally, Xu actually did play a slightly looser shot. Oh, we are here. Well, he read exactly where that attack was going. He was stood there, basically, before the shuttle got to him, because he's just reading everything that Leon's doing at the moment. He's half a step to one full step ahead all the time. And again.
16-5.
It's one of these situations where for Leon, you've got to believe that Xiu cannot kind of keep this phenomenal level up. Problem is, at the moment, it's looking like he can.
Malaysia challengers.
Well, he's asked Hawkeye to have a look at this, Leon. It's a slightly delayed reaction from the line judge there, actually. Well, the call was correct.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. 17-5. Play. At the
moment, it's even hard for Leung to kind of stay in the rallies, just because, you know, shot selection, shots quality, reading of the game. Everything's been so good from Xiu. I think he's lifted maybe 2, maximum 3 out the back, and that's pretty much all he's done wrong.
18.
Right on the line.
Service over.
I mean, that's the thing, what else do we expect? You know, he just makes it look so easy. Like, he's just literally placing it on the line. I think he's put that on the line better than I could actually hand place it.
I was just going to say, it's almost more of an exhibition than a match. 14 game points.
6.
That kind of thing's not supposed to happen in a quarterfinal.
Game.
In 13 minutes,
First game won by China.
an absolute demolition of Leong Junhao by Xiu. Looking good already to extend China's lead.
Angin kan, so sekarang lawan, so dia sekarang tak buat apa, mesti turun banyak. So depan dia mesti menangkap, berani buka tinggi, jet dia apa pun boleh. Tapi depan kalau kita slow rasa orang tak boleh slow.
If we are all the time having to lift him from difficult position, then he up here, he in control. Yeah? Very important on the front court. Also there to mix up the serve when you get the serve. So you cannot just go in and do it. Make sense? Yeah. Right? One at a time. One at a time. Just hang in. Hang in. Okay. Stay positive.
Sekarang you masih semua macam.
So is there anything that Leon can do here to stem the tide?
Play.
We're about to find out.
I think one of the biggest challenges just from the first game was, well, I say challenge, I mean it is and it isn't, was Leon, generally when you lose 21-6, you haven't played to a high level, obviously. But I'm going to be honest, it wasn't really him. You know, he was kind of a bystander on the court because of how exceptional Xiuqi is. Now, can Xiuqi maintain that for another game? I'm not sure quite to that extent, because that was as good as it gets. But this start to this second is so important for Leon to just get some confidence, get some flow, some rhythm.
Shot.
Too low. John.
And that's what we saw Leon doing yesterday against Narioka. As soon as he gets that chance, his accuracy was so good. He just hasn't had a chance yet in this match, one of the first times. And he executed it so well.
Well, Leon will be utterly thrilled with the scoreline, albeit it doesn't quite reflect what we've seen in the last minute or so since they came back out, but nonetheless.
Service over. 1-3. Doing the doctor. John, doing the doctor.
I think, I might be wrong, but I think his finger's bleeding. Now technically,
yeah, you can see the blood on the towel, can't you?
Technically you are supposed to call the doctor on, because you can't have blood on the court or anything like that. So problem is when it's on your finger, it's so hard to stop because you can't put a plaster on. You need to call the doctor on to try and somehow assist.
Yeah, that's bleeding quite a bit. It's nasty.
I think it was from that dive early on in this game, the second game, when he dived and did amazing to get the shuttle, but just caught his finger on the floor.
It'll be awkward when it's your racket hand and you don't want anything kind of interfering with your grip. Well, hopefully that's done the trick. So if you've lost the scoreline, 3-1 in Leong's favour.
Brilliant again.
He's one of those players who just always looks like he's got so much time, more than probably 90% of the rest of his male professionals.
And this is the thing, time is key in regards to the longer you have on the shuttle. Generally, in theory, then the less time your opponent has. The longer you have to make a choice, the easier it is. You know, the earlier you take the shuttle, and it's all these things added together, and this is why he is. You know, right now he is the best in the world. As I said before, on the world rankings, quite a bit. 10,000 points is quite a lot.
Short and fairly easy put away. That was an excellent little net from Leong to set up the difficult lift for Xi.
Yeah, and it's one of the messages that he was given at the change of ends. Leong, it's integral that he can get hold of this net. Because in the first game he didn't really, so he wasn't getting the chance to attack. If he can win the net, he can show his prowess of his attack. There, it's much easier said than done when you've got Xi breathing down on the net. Make a highest bases there. Xi knows a net shot's coming. There's a good spin net and just keeps such a high base.
Well, another classic example. Really good net shot from Leong, and again, by his standards, that was a relatively straightforward put away from, well, just backward and mid-court.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, from the coaching staff, it's not just obviously winning the point, but it's the style of rally. This is how he's got to play and how he needs to play. Credit to Liu. He's the one that's changing the game. Xi's not being allowed to play how he was in the first. He's already made more unforced errors in this second game. And unforced, maybe in between unforced and forced, but a lot more mistakes in this second game than he did in the first. Fantastic control of the net from Liu. Now it's the Chinese coaching staff that are looking a little bit nervous. So much spin on that when it hits the tape.
Honestly, he didn't see this coming after what we saw in the opening game. Back in the groove with that.
Service over. 4-8.
Challenge here, straight away from Leong.
Challengers called out. Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. 5-8. Play. Service over. 9-5. Service over. 6-9.
Oh yeah, hit with so much authority as well as so much power.
7.
Yeah, and this is the thing with the attack. I mean, the power is good, no doubt about it, but it's not the power that does it. It's that insanely good placement. See there, Leung, he's guessed the right way. It's just, it's millimeter perfect.
Thank you. Service over. 10-7. Service over. 8-10.
Too good.
Yeah, there was the second to last shot. It was just a pure wit. It's so hard for Leung there to kind of do anything to hurt Xiu with. The more stretched, the more out of position your opponent is, the much harder it is for them to hit a creative shot or a shot of incredibly high quality.
So on 7 of the last 8 points, Xi.
Again there, Leung, he obviously, you know, he wants to hold the net because he knows this is a way that he's going to win, but he knew as he's hitting it that he shouldn't be playing net because Xiu had such a high base, and then that's why it ends up being so loose because he's caught in between two mines.
Well, he trailed 8-3, but he's ahead at the mid-game interval.
11-10.
And just potentially maybe 10 minutes or so away from extending China's lead.
Yeah, I mean, and just look at this last cross-court. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any better. Just clips his racket down. There's not a great deal of power in it, but the accuracy is exceptional.
That is too easy. If you don't have the legs, then go over or push, yeah? Okay.
Seeing Chen Yufei here getting ready.
But he did really well to stay in that rally. Young Junhao.
11 all.
Lovely cross-court net there. Brilliant skill.
12, 11.
Definitely caught Xiu by surprise.
I mean, Leon Junhao's doing fantastically well to hang in there, isn't he? Just to be competitive in this second game. Yes, I know he's made a few errors, Xiu, but even so, he's had to work so hard, the Malaysian.
Yeah, and I think this is the kind of the weird thing about the first game. When you look at 21-6, you can't put 2 and 2 together and say, okay, one player played well, the other player didn't play well. But to be honest, I don't think Leon played that badly. He just was not given a chance at all to play in that first game. Second game's been a lot more competitive. Again, brilliant placement on the attack. We've seen a lot of width on Xiu's attack.
12.
On this one, he just goes that right hip, but the body.
Malaysia challengers.
Got a challenge here. Crowd's making it very clear what they want. Home crowd behind their man, Xiu.
Fortunately, Hawkeye is completely neutral. But they're going to like what they see, the home crowd.
Challenge unsuccessful. No challengers remaining. 14-12. Play. Play on.
Just too long. Did the hard work by getting there, really.
Service over.
Just couldn't control it.
13-14.
Absolute perfection again. It's like millimetre. See how short the lift is.
13.
A little bit short. Just so accurate.
Service over. 14-15.
I mean, this is the difficult bit. You've got to control the net because you can't give Xiu the lift. And
14.
he wants to obviously get the attack, but Can't just play net off everything. He has to lift at times, but every time he lifts, Xiu-Chi's attack is just
Thank you.
poetry in motion.
That's out by a big margin. And the winning line comes ever closer for Xiu-Chi.
17-14.
Well, he did brilliantly on 3 or 4 occasions, Xiu-Chi, to stay in that rally, because there were some excellent shots from Liang Junhao. Managed to just hang in there and eventually got the error from his opponent.
It's just crazy, to be honest. I mean, he's off balance there.
19-14.
Got his footwork maybe just slightly wrong. No, to be fair, his footwork's not. It's just he's off balance. But to produce that when your body weight's going the wrong way is, yeah, just exceptional.
And remember, he gave his opponent an 8-3 start in this game, and he's still going to win it in a canter. 6 match points then for the world number 1. It's wide, and it's all over. And it's only taken 37 minutes. Dominant display from Xiu-Chi, who has just basically blown Liang Junhao off the court. And the Malaysian really didn't do that much wrong. Just completely outclassed by the man who currently surely is the best on the planet in men's singles. I mean, we had him down as favourite, obviously, Chris, but not sure either of us expected it to be quite so straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, that first game was, yeah, you can't describe it. It was that good.
Perfection, basically.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a level above perfection, to be honest. I think he played 3 rallies that weren't, you know, total perfection, total, you know, just as good as it gets. And to do that for that long, as in for that long a duration, yes, we see players play 3, 4, 5, 6 good rallies, but yeah, I mean, what a match. He had a short start to the second where his level dropped very, very slightly, but yeah, just an incredible performance from Xiu-Chi there.
He wins 21-6, 21-14, 38 minutes. In fact, the official match time. So China now 2-love ahead, needing 1 more victory to secure their place in tomorrow's semi. And Chen Yufei's a big favourite to provide it. She's up next in the women's singles. Don't go away. Well, a very warm welcome back to Xiamen and our continuing coverage of the Sudirman Cup 2025. And in the first quarter-final, China lead Malaysia by 2 matches to love and need just one more victory to secure the tie. Chen Yufei up next in the women's singles against Patavan Shana. There they are, ready and waiting. Big moment for the 21-year-old. I mean, think of the responsibility on her shoulders. She has to win, keep her country in the competition. That said, I'm not sure there's huge levels of expectation, but we'll see how she gets on. Court officials making their way into the arena now, so the players won't be too far behind. I think it would have been a shock, Chris, if Liang had beaten Shi Yuqi. I think if Chen Yufei loses here, that'd be an even bigger shock, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this would be the biggest shock in this year's Sudirman Cup, definitely, just because Chen Yufei, you know, she's such a good player and she's playing a very young, less experienced player who, you know, has to keep the whole of Malaysia in this tournament. It's a humongous ask.
Getting a huge reception, the 2020 Olympic champion.
Empire, woman living Qatar from Canada. Service judge Andrea Kiarbu from Italy.
Best. All the best.
First time these players have met.
Red, black for you. Black. Side. Serve.
Obviously, Chen Yufei much the more experienced because that Shana is just 21 years of age. Ranked just outside the world's top 50, which is her best. Interestingly, preferred to Go Jinwei, who lost to Tomoka Miyazaki yesterday. She actually won the Malaysian national title at 14. Back in 2019. Just the one match, as you see, very straightforward win over the Australian. But this is a huge step up in class, as they say in horse racing parlance. Well, Chen Yufei, you probably know pretty much all there is to know about the Olympic champion from Tokyo. She was an international player at just 15. Got 1 World Cup silver medal, 3 bronzes, and in fact when China won the Sudirman Cup 2 years ago, she won the deciding match by beating An Se-young in straight games. Just the 1 appearance so far. What do you make of the fact, Chris, that Malaysia have picked the 21-year-old ahead of Go Jinwei, who's obviously ranked slightly better?
To be honest, I would do the same, just because the younger player, this is, yes, you could say it's being kind of thrown in the dragon's den, or as it were, because it's a big challenge, but hopefully what she can learn from this game, the experience, the pressure, she's playing one of the greats, and for me it's more a case of that with, I don't think
even if they put Go Jinwei in, I can't see Go Jinwei winning, and that's no discredit to either of the Malaysian players. I just think it's such a big ask for either of them. I would have done the same thing regarding the team sheet.
You mentioned when we were talking about Shi Yuqi before taking a little break, Chen Yufei did the same thing after losing to He Bingjiao in the Paris Olympics. 10 weeks in Australia among other places she went, studying English.
If only she'd have come over to England, she could have done a bit of training. It would have been great for the English badminton team to have had a player of her class.
You could have helped her with her English.
Yeah, I would have happily taught her some English. She could have taught me some Mandarin.
That would have, well, I was going to say that some badminton coaching for some language skills. That would be a fair exchange. And she has the potential honour here of leading China into the semis if she can win this one.
Right, Malaysia, represented by Karupatan Lichana. And on my left, China, represented by Chen Yufei. Malaysia to serve, no ball, play.
That's just long.
One love.
I think it's so important how a player, Lichana's kind of position where she's a massive, massive underdog, but she's come out and she's had a a positive start, which I think is so important. Make her feel comfortable. That's so integral now that she just doesn't give any too many easy points away. She's got to settle into this match and feel comfortable. It's a massive, massive ask, but she just wants to put in a good, strong, solid performance out here.
Certainly looks calm enough. Can be deceptive, of course, but she doesn't appear to be a quivering, nervous wreck. It's a good shot. Now structurally wide, it's been a solid beginning for her.
Yeah, she's definitely not come out here kind of passive or edgy or uncertain. She's taken the game to her opponent.
Chen Yufei has won a World Tour title this year. It's a Swiss Open.
4-2.
16 in total now for her.
Yeah, and just coming off the back of the Asian Championships also. See, and Young didn't participate in that one.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to meet until the final because Korea on the other side of the draw. If China do go through, either through winning this match or on level of the doubles, then they face the winner of either Japan or Chinese Taipei in the semi tomorrow.
Service over. 5.
shot.
6-3.
Fantastic shot. You know, so far, Xiamen, she's put in a good performance. You know, she's competing, she's challenging.
It's been what you would say solid rather than spectacular from Chen Yifei so far. That's a fantastic pick-up from Xiamen.
Yeah, she's challenged though. She's got a good performance so far. It's definitely not been one-way traffic. I think just going back to what obviously you mentioned earlier, just about Chen Yifei, this lady on screen, taking that duration off just to kind of get clarity on herself and what she wanted for her future. I think she found it a little bit difficult after Olympics. It didn't quite go the way she wanted, being a favourite definitely for a medal and maybe even for winning the title again. I think it's great that China allowed her to kind of take that time off and seek a bit of clarity herself. I think it might be different if China didn't have quite so many amazing lady singles players.
Well, it was a shock, wasn't it, when she lost to He Bingjiao? She was a big favourite to beat her fellow countryman in Paris. He Bingjiao, of course, who's since retired, having won the silver medal.
Yeah, it was there's no doubt about it. It was a massive surprise. I don't think anyone expected that, because Chen Yifei had been so dominant over all the other Chinese players for 12 months before. But then it allowed, obviously, that magical moment of kind of, I don't know how to describe it, you know, that magical moment of when linked to Carolina Marin, He Bingjiao, she's that...
The Spanish pin on her
fantastic
jacket.
gesture. Yeah. He Bingjiao, she seems like such a lovely lady to have done something as kind of caring and as considerate as that.
It's another super shot from the Malaysian.
6-10.
But still, it's a comfortable lead for the Chinese at the mid-game break, 11-6.
See that one just now, dia bagi you're too early. Cannot bring it down or lob back, no problem. Okay?
If any questions here, then go body ready to do the run again. She's just giving you a chance to open, but she won't. Otherwise, that forward, stay, play, yeah? Okay? Nothing happened. Your defense so far very good. Yeah? Your defense good. First,
11-6. Play.
Exceptional. She found the line there.
Service over. 7-11.
I have to say, I'm quite impressed so far with Xiamen.
Beautiful shot, wonderful disguise. Xiamen actually did well to stay in the point in the early stages of it. Made Chen Yufei work, and then she produced this piece of brilliance.
Yeah, and this is the key. You know, Xiamen, she is making her opponent work hard. You know, there's no way Chen Yufei is just running away with this.
Play.
Another fabulous pickup. That's just wonderful from Xiamen. Really is. She's not playing like a world number 52.
Yeah, not at all. And for me, this is, you know, it's one of the reasons why Malaysia have put her in the team, because they see that she has potential. She's young, doesn't have the experience at the, you know, the highest level yet, because her ranking doesn't allow that. She can't enter the big tournaments, so she's playing Super 100s, challenge tournaments. It's kind of one of her first big chances on the world scene. Too good there from Chen Yufei.
13-8.
A little bit short. Just great accuracy from this lady. Very aware of the situation there, Chen Yufei. Just working her opponent, puts her in a little bit of trouble, has such a high base just behind the front service line. Anything loose just bounces on it.
Lovely touch.
16-8.
Just now you can feel Chen Yufei, she's just getting a bit of a stranglehold on this game.
18-8.
Well, test of character now for Xiamen. Doesn't want to get swept away after being pretty competitive for the first 5 or 10 minutes of this match. Well, she's really finding a range now, Chen Yufei.
20
game points here, 12 of them for the world number 7. Well, that's definitely going to be challenged. My first reaction was that might have been wide, although sometimes with these it could just be clipping the line. Definitely worth asking Hawkeye the question. Yeah, so that will be game. 21-8, and it's taken barely a quarter of an hour. Halfway then for Chen Yufei. One more game for China to secure a place in the semi.
Ready for the cross, right? If we cross, she's just moving and you don't know what's coming. Right? So keeping straight line, waiting for the cross. Yeah? But when you cross, it's because you can put pressure on. Except if lifting, okay, that's okay, that's different, right? If we go down, cross, yeah? Cross, then we don't know what's coming. Okay? We only lose one time down here at the airport. Otherwise, we lose on front court and this court. That's a still stay up here. Yeah? Make sense? Yeah? Don't protect the rear court. Then we will call it. It's still the front and mid court that's important. So from down here, of course, we can take that. From here, block, push back into court. Don't just get easy away on that one. Make sense? So when you smash, she blocks further in. Play back there. Don't.
One more thing now is win, right? So don't stop. Don't put higher.
Second game, love all, play. Service over, 1 love.
So this is going to be, I think, the test for TotalEnergies and Xiamen, having started pretty well. And then watch Chen Yufei kind of take the first game over. How competitive can she be in the second? Well, if that's any indication, she's right up for it.
2 love.
been a tough thing about that first game was just that massive run from Chen Yufei. You know, it was 11-8, and then all of a sudden, it was pretty much game.
Yeah, she just showed her class, didn't she? After the interval. The Olympic champion from Tokyo.
Sorry, it was actually 12-8, not 11-8. 12-8, 12-8, and then that massive run, but she just has 9 points in a row. Before that, it was a very competitive game, and it was fairly level, fairly even.
Just looks a fraction deflated, doesn't she, I think, Malaysian. I certainly don't think that she's let herself down at all up to this point, and playing one of the greats of the game in the modern era.
Service over. 3-4.
Perfect, landed in.
4-all.
And then she makes the easier mistake. Frustrating one there for Xiamen.
Service over.
Yeah, and for her coaches, no doubt, too, I would think. But she's clearly got ability.
Yeah, she's shown lots of potential. I mean, the first game, as I said, you know, it was really competitive. And then it just shows the slight class difference and experience where Chen Yufei just pulled off that massive run.
Six, 4.
Just missed it.
Yeah, by a fraction.
4.
Well, you can't play a net shot any better than that. I know she's apologising because it clipped the tape, but
8-4.
she was so close to it. It was a wonderful shot. Obviously made the kill a formality.
Play.
has an air of inevitability about it now, doesn't it? This third match of the tie.
Yeah, and it's that tough battle between Chen Yufei. She has now started to find her rhythm, and her level it has improved. There was that 9-point run in the first. It kind of just relaxed her, made her feel comfortable. She really got into her momentum and rhythm, and Xiamen just finding it a little bit tricky out there. She's just missed a few shots by a fraction, yeah, and like that, just cheaper mistakes creeping in.
So, mid-game break with Chen Yufei in control, clear by 7.
Condition now is in doubt, put to the middle. Keep straight lines. Remember what we discussed before. Every good value is a positive value. Win or lose. Keep it straight lines. Listen out. And then over here, go to the middle.
Thank you, coach. 11-4. Play.
So Chen Yufei on what she hopes will be the final lap of the race here. Again, subtlety of touch from Chen Yufei.
4.
There wasn't much margin for error there.
14.
Squeezed it between her opponent and the sideline.
Yeah, Chen Yufei, she's so good at working a rally, and and it's a calm, composed way. It's till she gets that opening, and then she just kind of carves it. Yeah, everything's so smooth and composed. Just like that, she's worked the opening. There's a big gap there, and just simply puts the shuttle in it. Does make it look effortless.
Service over.
I don't think that'll bother her too much at this stage.
16. Service over. 17-5.
And again.
Pretty much the only thing that she's done wrong so far in this match.
17.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shame because Xiamen looks a little dejected, but she really shouldn't get downhearted, because she's shown enough to suggest that 52 world ranking is going to improve in the not too distant.
It's just too good, and it's the shot quality. Steps in, reads it.
19-6.
Chen Yufei just makes it look so easy. I'm not sure, to be honest, the scores are kind of a true reflection. Yes, Chen Yufei is no doubt about it. We all know she's the better player, but I do think Xiamen has been more competitive than the scores do suggest.
Must say, Chen Yufei doesn't look to have lost any of the touch that has always been such a trademark of the game. It'd be an absolutely fascinating battle tomorrow if, as expected, Japan come through in the other quarter-final. She'll play Yamaguchi, presumably. That'll be fascinating. Meanwhile, match points here, 14 of them for the world number 7.
Service over. 7-20.
Taken just half an hour for Chen Yufei to take down the young Malaysian and secure China's place in tomorrow's semi-final. It maintains their proud record of always having qualified for at least the last 4. And on the evidence of what we've seen today, well, they've just probably extended that reputation as red-hot favourites to retain their title yet again. Never really troubled Chris at any stage, Chen Yufei.
No, I think, you know, Xiamen, she showed moments where she has this ability, and, you know, there's a lot of potential as a player. I think it's just, you're playing one of the greats, you know, your team's 2 love down, and the class of this lady, Chen Yufei, just showed today, and she was by far the superior player.
Well, it's taken China just 2.5 hours, exactly 2.5 hours, to confirm their place in the semis. This was the last point for Chen Yufei, and it means obviously that Chinese women's doubles and men's doubles pairs get the day off. Probably be training later, I would imagine, but they don't need to get involved in anything competitive because Chen Yufei's taken down her opponent 21-8, 21-7, 32 minutes on court was all it took.
Yeah, China, they really are such a complete team. There's no weakness at all in their squad or their, you know, the lineup they put out. The hardest bit for China is picking the team.
Yeah, who'd you leave out?
Yeah.
All 3 matches this morning, afternoon as it is now, 1 in straight games, and all in double quick time. So we know our first semi-finalists, Japan currently playing against Chinese Taipei on court 2. You can follow live coverage of that if you wish. And Denmark, Korea, Thailand, Indonesia playing tonight on the other side of the draw. China, though, huge favourites, as they were at the start, to lift the trophy again. However, quarter-final next session will be with Jill Clark and Steve Pedersen, Thailand and Indonesia, 5 o'clock local time. For now, though, from myself, Trevor Harris, for Chris Langridge and our whole production cast and crew here in Xiamen, it's goodbye.